Tim, a lot of the locals have concerns about the distribution of the sand on the beach, that a lot of the sand will be put on the beach so far south that it could end up in the inlet just in a short period of time. Could you address that?
Sure, absolutely, and that's one of the big dilemmas that you have here as we've talked about the different erosion rates that we have to deal with. Obviously, the biggest problem at the moment is at the south end, but if all we did was nourish the south end of the beach, that 1-2 mile section of beach, that sand would quickly shift down to Oregon Inlet. You'd be buying a lot of sand that would end up in the inlet, probably wouldn't help the situation out for very long, and it wouldn't last very long. Nourishment projects last, or their longevity is in proportion to the length of the project. In fact, it's the square of the length of the project. So in other words, if you build 1 mile of beach, it will last so long. If you double the length to 2 miles, it will last 4 times as long. If you double that to 8 miles, it will last another 16 times as long as the 1 mile section. So what we want to do here is place most of the sand north of the south area so that it will wash down through the south area into the eventually into Oregon Inlet. So the trick is to figure out how much sand we need at the north end to keep feeding the south end while protecting and restoring the south end. And that's going to be the hardest part of this project, getting the south end solved for the same length of time that we can solve the problem at the north end.
Is there anything else we need to talk about today?
Well, I hope I've answered some of your questions and clarified a lot of the issues involved in a project like this. Again, I feel confident that this will be a long-lasting project, be a very worthwhile project for the community, and we've tried to prepare a very straightforward, fairly simple plan, similar to what many other communities have done.
Richard, I want to thank you as a member of the Dare County Board of Commissioners for your support in allocating funds for this project. And while we're on that subject, can you tell me why you did support that?
Well, Anna, the funding, when it was originally established, was established to do beach or shoreline preservation, and it can go for any project. Presently, we don't have any other projects, and Nags Head has took the lead and has moved forward and made a big commitment to this project. And I believe that tax money collected for a purpose should be spent for that purpose. This money was collected and as lodging tax plus the 1 cent tax that was voted down, and this money can only be spent for this type of project, and I think we have an obligation to see to it that the money is spent specifically for those type projects. So for me, it was an easy decision. Whether you agree or disagree with the project, you have to agree that the money was dedicated for that purpose and should be spent for that purpose.
Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to expand on some questions that come forward to us. People say, well, it's unfair that Nags Head gets such a large percentage of the money that is collected. The collections will go on for years. The tourist industry or the lodging industry chose to have the county collect this money and for this purpose. So when Nags Head asked us for the $8 million, or 25% of their cost in the project, I felt like it was a reasonable amount because Nags Head is almost 25% of the tax base in Dare County. They collect almost 25% of the revenue that we're going to be given to them. Now, granted, it's about 100% of what we have at the time, but where the money will be spread out over time. We will be collecting, and I believe Dave Clausen told me yesterday that we had the largest lodging tax collection last month that we've ever had. That money will be added in, so there will be other money for other projects later on. So the fact that we're giving a lot of the money, a large percentage of the money, to Nags Head at this time doesn't hinder the fact that if other projects come, by the time that they do it, they get their ducks in a row, so to speak, they will be able be addressed by this fund too. And we're continuously collecting this money so we can either spend it for other local projects, or we can save the money and spend it for the major project, the core project. So it doesn't, as people would like you to believe, it doesn't totally drain this fund.
Roberta, I just want to say thank you for bringing us all together here today. We hope that this has been beneficial in your understanding of how the project will work. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there really are 4 steps to this project. The first, of course, was hiring of the firm. The second, of course, was making the plan and submitting the permits. The third is today again. We hope that we have done our job today by showing you how the project will work. Number 4 is the financing, and again, that will be to you in the very near future. When you go, the informed voter, to vote in the spring of 2007, we know that you will make the right decision for the future of Nags Head.
Thank you for watching today. I hope this program was informative. If you would like to get more information on this project, please see the Town of Nags Head's website, www.townofnagshead.net, or call Town Hall at 441-5508. Thank you.